What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact or true by the company or person the rumor is about, or promotion the rumor is about, they remain what they are, rumors. So with that, let's get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors for this week. Starting off with WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select. SmackDown is scheduled to go back to 3 hours at the beginning of the new year, with the January 8th, 2027 episode currently target. So this is just really part of that contract that WWE has with NBC Universal, with USA Network, that the first half of the year, SmackDown is 3 hours, and then for the rest of the year, SmackDown returns back to a 2 hour program. So this is just really part of that contract. So rinse and repeat, basically with that until their contract with until WWE's contract with NBC Universal USA Network is up. This is just how it's gonna go for the foreseeable future, which we've been in for the last few years now. All right. Despite the way he's been booked on the main roster, Fightful notes they've heard nothing negative about Carmelo Hayes, and he's always been referred to in positive terms. Absolutely, Carmelo Hayes has really been surrounded within the United States title picture for quite a while, holding holding the United States Championship for quite a while, having those continuing those tournaments, uh, and some of his great best matches that we've seen thus far have been with Ilya Dragunov, who is no longer with WWE, who decided to leave WWE. But Carmelo Hayes is only just getting started within SmackDown. He has been on the main roster for a few years now, but sometimes it takes a while before you get up there, because when you're on SmackDown, you reach the top of SmackDown. Then the next ceiling is the main roster, and then usually, if done right, and it's at least 50-50 most of the time that it's done right, that it takes a minute because you got to start all over again on the main roster, and you got to work your way up. So right now, where Carmelo Hayes is at, it's in the United States title picture, which is not a bad place to be in. We may not see him every day on SmackDown, but we do see him pretty regularly on TV, and uh, just just keep watching as he flourishes and keeps growing and getting to that main event picture, which I believe we will see him in at some point. During the latest Fightful Select Answers Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp was asked about Dr. Britt Baker's status with AEW. Sapp said he hasn't heard anything about Baker being sidelined with an injury, but did say that Baker's name came up in a discussion about September 9th's tribute show for Rebel on AEW. He hasn't heard about anything regarding Baker beyond that. So this is a rumor I read this past week on Rumor of the Day, and I also said on that I was going to speak a little bit more onto that. So what I will say to that is that as far as possibly seeing Britt Baker on this tribute show episode, I hope we do. We are creeping up on the on 2 years since Britt Baker has had a match on AEW. It'll be 2 years in November. But just to see her on AEW for at least this tribute show for Rebel, I hope she's there for that, because how close of a relationship Britt Baker and Rebel have, on not just on TV and what they work together on television, but what they are as close friends off television as well, in their personal lives, and how Baker has been there for Rebel. So I would hope that AEW would have Baker there, um, for this tribute show. I really hope so. As far as what's next for Baker outside of that, um, we will see. I don't have any high confidence about AEW using Britt Baker anymore, honestly. But this is something that I will touch on in a couple of months when we get to November and we reach that 2 year uh 2 year anniversary, I guess I can say, since Britt Baker has had a match on AEW. So we'll see. A source told Insider that the John Cena Classic will take place sometime after Survivor Series, but nothing is locked yet. However, False Finish brings word that WWE is looking to hold the Classic on December 12th, which is a Saturday, which means that it is possible that the John Cena Classic, the finals, so it's possible that this tournament will be a theme for Saturday night's main event the whole thing, or like something that they will start a few weeks ahead before Saturday night's main event. Like they start on Raw, they continue on through SmackDown, and they do that for the next 2 weeks, and then say like we get to the finals of this tournament, or like the semifinals and the finals, and we have both those at Saturday night's main event, depending on what they decide to do. But I feel like that is possible what they are looking at, or just the whole thing for Saturday night's main event. Either it's either or, it seems like. But ever since they had John Cena announce this tournament, uh, back at Backlash, there hasn't really been anything for it, and it's, hey, all for an announcement, all for seeing Cena on WWE TV. It's all good, but I feel that this announcement should have been made when they had everything locked in as far as what they knew they were going to do, so that the announcement could have more meaning to it, fair to say, of John Cena making this announcement, and then adding to that announcement saying that we're doing this tournament, and here's when it's gonna be, and and then announce the participants in this tournament, who's gonna be in this tournament. Here's what they'll win, whether it's a trophy or a championship, whatever one, and and then we go from there, and then we get ourselves hyped up, and we're hyped up and we're ready for this tournament when it starts, when it's supposed to start. But we didn't get that. We got none of that. We just got John Cena making this announcement that this tournament's going to happen. I don't know exactly when, but it's going to be cool, and it's inspired from what I did, for Saturday night's main event last year, for everything leading up to my retirement match. That was it. It kind of felt like, well, we're putting out. It's kind of like when John Cena made this announcement of the of Club WWE, where here's Club WWE. We're we want people to go ahead and register now so they can get on the ground floor and be founding members of this club, and then when the thing debuts, it is what it is. I did not get Club WWE because this is one thing that's not worth WWE taking my money over. So hell no for that. If anything, they should have brought back WWE Network. That makes more sense than Club WWE. But we're on this tournament thing, so that's what they should have done as far as this John Cena Classic, and instead of what they did back in May. But it is what it is, and we should see within the next 2 months if if they start making announcements for it and start putting everything together for how it looks. If anything, they'll probably bring John Cena back into it so he can say this is what it is, if anything. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez says there are a lot of people in AEW who want out of their contracts, but Tony Khan prefers to pay wrestlers to sit at home rather than cut them. Alvarez indicates that a lot of AEW contracts will quietly expire over the next 18 months, which could put a lot of talent back on the indies. So that has WCW written all over it. WCW didn't do that. WCW did that exact same thing where they didn't cut talent. They just, if they weren't using talent, they just let them sit at home and collect a check. And some men and women are okay with doing that. If they're not going to be used, they're perfectly fine with going home, with staying at home and collecting a check until their contract expires or until they get called in when they got some kind of direction on what's going to happen next. They're perfectly okay with that. But there's also a lot of men and women pro wrestlers who hate that, who are miserable, where they're under contract with a promotion, but they have no choice but to stay home and collect the check. Yes, at least they're getting paid. Yes, they're still able to pay their bills, and yes, they still have money in their bank accounts, so they're still okay money wise with that. But still, not being able to do the thing that they love to do, to be able to have matches, to be able to tell stories, to be able to entertain the fans, to be able to get in that squared circle and put on a match, put out a banger after banger, just go out there and do the thing that they love, and to be able not to be able to do that, a lot of men and women professional wrestlers hate that. So for AEW to get to a point where it's been a few months or even a year and they still haven't used any of those any of their talent in that any of the talents that they have been using, and they have nothing creative for them, it is perfectly okay to cut them, to release them. WWE does it every year after WrestleMania when they analyze everything and they see who they're using and who they're not using, or sometimes who they're using in the middle of a story and don't say anything after that and cut them. So, if WWE, TKO, basically, has no problem with doing that, AEW, even though they are a private company, they should have no problem in doing that either. It's sometimes being cut if you're not being used, being released from a company if you're not being used is not a bad thing, especially for the wrestler. Yes, it sucks when you lose your job and when you're released from that company, but it affords the freedom for them to go somewhere where they know they will be utilized and where they know they can go. And if they decide to go back into the indies, which a lot of them do, then they have that freedom to be able to go here, to be able to go there, to be able to go up there, to be able to go down there, and still be used and still get paid for the thing that they love to do. So for AEW to not do that, for Tony Khan not to do that, it I think it would be fair to say that it's disrespectful to that professional wrestler, man or woman. So I think Tony Khan should just be able to release release those who are not being used, especially when you look at a Britt Baker and Scorpio Sky. Just let them go. Let them go somewhere where they know they'll be utilized. According to WrestleVotes, WWE has been discussing how to freshen up the tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown. Well, I will say that one way, pardon me, the only reason why they are looking to freshen up their tag team division is because they released a big chunk of their tag team division. I mean, Wyatt Six, Motor City Machine Guns, just to name a few. Those are teams that should have not been released, that should have stayed within the company, that were fresh, right? And to get rid of them, I feel that, I mean, obviously they have the reasons why they got rid of them, but and there's probably a different direction they want to go with the tag team division. I understand that, but still, those are two great tag teams that they should have kept, that could have kept that tag team division flourishing, and it's barely hanging on right now. So I'm just so it's just seeing what they're going to do as far as the tag team division. It's always been the tag team division within WWE has always been a little iffy. I can say that within the women's tag team division too, especially when it comes to women championship belts, and even some of the mid card championship belts within the men as well. A lot of the main focus for WWE is their WWE Championship and their World Heavyweight Championship. So I feel that a lot more focus needs to go into the mid card of that and add more attention to the Intercontinental Championship, which I feel it's starting to get a little bit, and more attention to the United States Championship, which I feel that's starting to get too. For the women, I think adding more women tag teams, it's necessary. We need to see that. We need to see Fatal Influence have more competition. Very iffy on that. We need to see Fatal Influence go to Raw and get competition from the because those women tag team championships afford them the right to stay on SmackDown, to go to Raw or go back to SmackDown and have competition within those women tag teams. We need to see more of that. We need to see more attention on the Women's United States Championship. More focus needs to be put on that. There are plenty of women on the roster on SmackDown alone that makes suitable opponents for the women for the United States Championship on the women's side. So let's give JC Jane some of those matches to put in. The WWE Women's Championship has been a little rocky, yes, but more focus into that. Really, a lot more focus into the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. For Liv Morgan to go 100 days and having to wait to go from WrestleMania to SummerSlam without defending the Women's World Championship and then finally defending it, oh, and then beating Io Sky, and then now as we're getting into the fall, it finally feels like a little attention is finally getting on into that when we got Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer both looking at Liv Morgan to get that women's world championship. That is great. You got Raquel Rodriguez, who is the women's intercontinental championship. Let's see her get more. Let's see her start defending the hell out of that championship, and it feels like that is starting to happen. So Ruka is back on the chase. That is great, but let's see more competitors in that. So, yes, let's put more focus into the mid card and into the women's main event scene as well, into the mid card for the women as well. I get it can be hard to do that, and it's hard to focus on everything at once, and you only have so much time on a show. Um, but I guess, but I would love to see more focus within the mid card of that, and I am a very patient man. You know, I have been a preschool teacher. I was a preschool teacher for 10 years. So patience I am very good at. So yes, I am it's just all about the long game and just letting things play out as they are and allowing them to cook for however long they need to cook. So, but that's just my feel on that. Me venting basically on that. One last thing that I want to bring up. I really want to talk about wrestling with rumors and rumor of the day. I don't think I ever really brought this up, so I just wanted to bring this up really quick and how this all really started. So it all started a long time ago, not too long ago, but long enough. It all started with a blog, and that blog was called Let's Talk Wrestling. And in that blog, I would talk about my love for professional wrestling, and that would slowly turn into me telling this long story over time of everything that's happening from from Monday to Friday with SmackDown, everything that's leading up to one of the big four PLEs. And in some cases, I would tell these stories of what's happening on this week with Raw and SmackDown for everything to lead up to WrestleMania. I did the same thing when it came to after Roman Reigns, after WrestleMania 40, and Roman Reigns lost the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes, and then telling this story about Solo Sikoa over the course of a few months, everything leading of Solo Sikoa taking over the bloodline, and how Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Tonga, and how all these everyone showed up, telling a little backstory and how it all led up to Solo Sikoa and the Ulufala and what that was, and everything leading up to eventually Roman Reigns coming back at that debut episode of Raw on Netflix to that match where eventually Roman Reigns got back his Ulu Fala. And then telling the story of John Cena as well for Let's Talk Wrestling. So Let's Talk Wrestling became this thing that I loved doing, where I would talk wrestling. I would write it out because when I'm not doing an episode of Wrestling with Rumors or a daily episode of Rumor of the Day, I am a writer. I am an author. I write books. I have 17 books out now that I wrote in 2 years. There's a Linktree link in my bio if you want to check it out. And that is my love. That is my passion. That is what I do. That is who I am. I am an independent author who has all these books that he puts out. And I write love stories, mock memoirs, good versus evil stories, mental health stories. Right now, I'm in the very early phases of this new book that I'm working on. It deals with like sci-fi and aliens. My first sci-fi story, kinda, where it's about aliens and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool how I'm getting that started, and stuff. Anyway, so that's why I did wrestling. I did Rumor of the Day. Pardon me. That's why I did Let's Talk Wrestling, because that way I could write out. Um, pardon me. I could write out everything that I felt what was going on and tell this story, report, and put it into a blog. And that's what Let's Talk Wrestling was. It was a blog, and I have about like almost 50. I had like about, oops, okay, and I had about like 50 of them, I believe. It's around 50. Anyway, but the reason of doing that was I didn't feel like I had the confidence to actually make the videos and talk about it, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I could really get it across by talking about it, doing it like Sam Roberts does it, or Chris Van Velt. I hope I said his name correctly. Do it when they do their interviews with these incredible professional wrestlers, and we learn about the history and stuff like that. So I didn't feel like I could do that, but over the course of the last couple of years, I felt like I felt the confidence in at least trying to do it. So I did. So I tried it out, and I like the idea of trying to do Rumor of the Day and even Wrestling with Rumors, kind of like, and reading these rumors as just kind of like reporting the news in a sense, but rumors, and allowing people who might not find these rumors or might not know about these rumors to be able to read these rumors out to everybody to inform them about this is what is going on within the world of professional wrestling, in a sense, speculating on these things, talking about these things, and it helped really build my confidence. And at first, it was called AK. It was called AKT Wrestling, but and then I had a segment called and then I had a segment on that in the beginning, in the first couple episodes of that was called Rumor of the Day or Wrestling with Rumors, where I just where the first part was me just talking about wrestling in general, and then I would just read a rumor or two on that. And I like doing that a lot more, that I changed it up. And that became Wrestling with Rumors, where I would pick out the rumors over the week, and then read them too on Wrestling with Rumors, and then pick out one rumor each day and read that for Rumor of the Day. And I've been doing that for a little over a year now, both Wrestling with Rumors and Rumor of the Day, and I love doing that. I feel I have a lot more confidence in being able to sit here, throw on a wrestling t-shirt, get in front of this camera on my phone, and talk to all of you who come on my Wrestling with Rumors channel, or see the daily episode of Rumor of the Day across all social media platforms that I'm on, and just talk to all of you wrestling fans out there, whether it's stuff from WWE, which mostly it is, or jump on some stuff on AEW or TNA. So I just love doing that, and I've been a wrestling fan since 1987, and just being able to sit here, have the confidence to do this. I love being part of a wrestling community, especially a lot of people who get on their cameras on their phones, or whatever kind of camera they have, and talk wrestling, speculate wrestling for them. And it's a beautiful thing to be part of that community because, everybody has something different to talk about. Or especially when you look at those who do the interviews, when you look at Sam Roberts, when you look at Chris Van Velt, when you look at a woman, a woman like Denise. I cannot pronounce her last name, but I hope a lot of you know who I'm talking about when I say Denise. Um, Besides the fact being a beautiful, incredible, funny, outgoing woman who just loves wrestling and has these incredible interviews that I enjoy watching. Um, so shout out to all those people that I announce. I enjoy what they do. I enjoy watching what they do when it comes to the interviews, when it comes to talking about it, to speculate about it. And we all have our own way for those who make these videos and talk about wrestling, about what we want to talk about, and it feels like a complete full circle, sometimes more than once, that everyone is covering their own thing and what they love to do. So I love that, and I love being part of that. And I appreciate everyone who gets on Wrestling with Rumors, who subscribes to Wrestling with Rumors, hits that thumbs up, watches Wrestling with Rumors, watches Rumor of the Day, whether it's on my Wrestling with Rumors channel or the daily episode across all my social media platforms that I'm on. And just wanted to add a thank you to all of you. And that's kind of really just how this all came together, and I love it. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing the rumors and talking to all of you, speculating about it, bringing up breaking news stuff when it happens, and keep going strong. So for now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I'm Anthony K. Thomas. Don't If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors, Rumor of the Day, and anything else I drop that involves wrestling drops on this channel. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. Hope all of you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves. Once again, I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and I will see you all on that next one. Peace, y'all.